Hey, how you doing there? This is Kevin with Kevin Navigates, and today I'm going live, and today is going to start this series on investing in yourself once you're over 40. Now, I'm over 40. I'm over 50. I'm actually 54, and I started this channel about 45 days ago. Hasn't been quite 2 months. At the end of the month, it'll be about 2 months. And I really just am finding my way around making videos and just uh, the technology. And what gave me the idea was when I decided that I consumed a lot of content, and the content that I consumed is not for entertainment. The content that I consume is for education. And I am a huge proponent on investing in yourself, and you just keep investing. I have a saying that I use all the time: you either pay now or you pay later. It's one or the other. And throughout my whole entire life, I've kind of reinvented myself several times. And to be successful, I think that you have to do that. You have to keep reinventing yourself, keep making yourself relevant, and just never give up, and just keep forging ahead, keep learning. I think that's the key is learning. So, anyways, I'm just going to kind of talk out loud and just get on my mind. I'm doing research on different topics and trying, like I said, feel my way around YouTube and kind of see where I fit in. I know I fit somewhere. Yesterday, I had my first person reach out to me and with a story of success on how they, through watching me and listening to the research that I had compiled over the last 7 or 8 months, I've become consumed with health, longevity, diet, kind of more uh, the existence of humans and how we've evolved, where we came from. I love that stuff. I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to that. Well, anyways, I had the first person come to me and say, "Hey, thanks. I really appreciate um, the work that you've put in." And so, if you don't know, but I've lost over 60 pounds. I'm working my way towards 70 pounds. I started on June 6th, and I've tried everything from Mediterranean, South Beach, low carb, starving myself, exercising myself, you name it. Over my 54 years, I've done just about everything. And I adopted more of an animal based, ketogenic, carnivore, whatever you want to call it, diet. The reason why I did that was because I believe in the KISS system. Keep it simple. Subscriber. I'm not going to say the other word, but well, we're all adults here. Keep it simple, stupid is kind of what I adopt to. And with that strategy is when I did other diets, it was a lot of meal prep. It was a lot of ingredient preparation. And yeah, I learned a lot. Actually, when I first did the South Beach diet, it taught me how to cook, which was a great thing. I dove into that South Beach diet and I learned how to really cook from that diet. Um, so again, that was probably back in my 30s when I did that. Then when I hit 40, I got on an exercise kick. I ran. I was like Forrest Gump, just run, Forrest, because I did triathlons, I did marathons, I did full half, five. I mean, I got medals and uh, the bibs, and I still have all that stuff. And I think when I hit 40, I was like, if I don't do it now, how am I going to do it? Um, and so I did it. I literally I spent probably close to 3 years competing in racing and adventure races, Spartans, Tough Mudders, Warrior Dashes. I mean, I was going probably twice a month for 2 or 3 years. I did paddleboard racing. I love all kinds of board sports. So I actually got into where I was actually surfing. I mean, I think I surfed 30 days in a row one time. Um, uh, so, anyways, I just engulfed myself in being as physically active as I possibly could. And again, being that physically active, you lose weight. Probably the best shape of my life I've been in. I think I got down to about 238 pounds. Um, I never knew how much I could really. I was working out quite a bit. I don't know how much I could really bench press on a single max rep, but I could put. I think I was doing 135 like 50 or 60 times, and anyways, I was very strong. And uh, so, anyways, I reinvented myself in my 40s, health wise. Now in my 50s, I have two small kids, and I shouldn't say I let myself go, but work, stress, house remodeling, job, making money, kids, pregnant wife, all those things. Yes, I am 54 and I have a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old. Um, I was very, very busy, and I didn't. I, I took convenience, and I wasn't keyed on working out. I wasn't keyed in on diet and exercise, and I uh, gained a lot of weight. So I reached out at 317 pounds. So um, getting back to my story, so I took my health more seriously because I have young kids and I want to be around for a long time. So back in June, I decided to go on the carnivore diet. So I reinvented myself. I kind of took the keep it simple approach, and that's what I did. Um, so I'm all about investing in yourself, challenging yourself. I've always kind of had this theory that people don't change until the pain becomes great enough. For me, the change to becoming healthier was the pain, the thought of not being around for my children. That pain became far greater than what I was comfortable with. So I forced myself to change. Now, when I say invest in yourself, it doesn't matter if it's health, if it's career, financial, whatever it is. I believe in that. I'm going to talk a little bit about career and reinventing yourself and investing in yourself there. I'm investing in myself right now. I'm investing myself in technology. I look in front of this dashboard thing I've created. I got 4 screens. I got a teleprompter. I have Elgato Wave XR and a Stream Deck, and Apple, and we got lights and Sony FX30 with a arm on it. I didn't know anything about any of it. And the backlighting, the setting the mood, I had to learn it all. I took the time to invest in myself to learn all that so I can sit here and do this now. Um, my videos aren't great. They're getting better. I want them to get even better and better and better. I'm learning about SEO and keywords and different things on that. And it's completely different than what I do every day. My everyday job is basically a coach. I do project management, and I had an epiphany the other night when I was in bed thinking about if I could sum up one thing of what I'm really good at and what I've done, and it's coaching. And I I love the fact that by doing the carnivore diet, I had success yesterday with someone coming to tell me and saying, "Thank you. I've lost over 20 pounds from watching you, listening to you, and what effort you put into it. I'm adopting it." Now, I made a video on that today. that I'm putting out, and I'm also going to follow up with him and give him the things in that video that eliminate some of the problems or issues that he was having. And that's more of like a coach role. So uh, looking back at it in today's world, I work for myself. I am a project manager. Um, if you look back in my history of careers that I've had, I was a boat captain. I was a high school lacrosse coach. I was an investment advisor, and I've owned several businesses, and I worked in sales for all those different entities. Sales was a part of it, and then I have a background in logistics. And some people say, "Well, how does all that tie together?" And each one of them was a segment of my life that I invested time, energy, and effort in to get me to a better place. And that's where, when you invest in yourself, if you spend the time to invest in yourself, whether it's your diet, whether it is working out, whether it is whatever it is you're doing, if you're investing in yourself, the rewards will come. My reward came yesterday because I spent so much time listening to people like Paul Saladino and Dr. Baker, Dr. Burns, Dr. Oz, all these different ones, learning about seed oils, learning about ketosis, learning about fat, learning about cholesterol, learning how the body works, learning on a cellular level. So my investment in that uh, brought me to the point where it allows me to transform my body, but also that investment in me is being projected out onto others now. My wife, because of a lot of the stuff that we've done together and separately, uh, she's over 50 pounds. Um, my first success story, I would say, with someone else that I didn't know that was going to do it, but was watching, paying attention, is over 20 pounds. So that all directly came from investment that I invested in myself. The reason I'm going on this ran long spiel is because so many people spend time on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, and they're scrolling, they're flipping, and they're consuming, and they're consuming the content that someone else is putting out there. And what I challenge is don't be a consumer, be a creator. And that's where, again, this investment in myself is investing in myself to be a creator, to put it out, so that what I put out there in the world, someone can learn from and benefit from and better themselves and put themselves in a better position. I understand that, watching TV and all those other things. I mean, I watch shows. I'm not, someone that is perfect, not at all. Um, but consuming content that is educational, that will teach you something that you can learn from, is so beneficial in many ways. Um, to the whole investing in yourself. If you spend just 10 hours a week, or 1 hour a week, or 10 minutes a day, or whatever it might be, into yourself, that will over time pay such great dividends down the road. I would never have thought that in my life and in my journey that at one time I had a lot of securities licenses. I mean, I could manage money, I could charge you a fee, I could make commissions, and uh, I was a investment advisor to the point where um, uh, I could do stocks, options, bonds, um, uh, any kind of investment you really could think of, I could do. And I kind of specialized in mergers and acquisitions and managing um, money for high net worth individuals. Just so happened that they were women that were either divorced or they were their husbands had passed away, and they were all in their 60s. I took my practice to where I was down to 25 clients, and those 25 clients, each one of them, and 95% of them were women, but they were all over 65 years old. And I was not a threat to them because I was old enough to they could relate to it from them having a child my age. They could also know that I was close enough that I could understand their grandchildren, and they also knew that I wasn't a threat, that a man had told them their whole entire lives what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. And I was not interested, or nor were they in me in that. So they felt very comfortable with me. And my network grew, and I invested myself. Those skills that I learned then are now still paying forward. And so this segment of my live talk that I'm going to talk about is taking the time to invest yourself financially in yourself. Now, some people it might be uh, work, it might be a side hustle, it might be different things. I believe that you should, before you have someone else tell you what you should do, whether it's your money or in your career or anything else, I think you should spend the time to understand what your options are and have a pretty good idea yourself of what you think the best thing to do. And don't let anybody ever tell you one sole source of what that should be. I'm a huge advocate of getting it from multiple sources. One of the strengths that you can do to reinvent yourself is to take yourself out of your position. When we are in our own position and we look at our situation, sometimes our blinders are on, we're not thinking, we're not looking, we don't see the periphery. When and I go back to coaching, and I feel like I'm jumping around a lot, but when I was a coach, my season was broken into the first couple weeks. I had to evaluate talent. I had to get the best players that would work together as a team. Didn't necessarily mean that I would take the best player. I took the best players that would come together, because in coaching, one of the things is, and whether you're in management or coaching or whatever you want to say, is you take that team of people, and you might have a superstar that is such a pain that it's just he will be a cancer and destroy the whole thing. And you can't afford to have that as a coach. So in the stages of coaching is that when you evaluate your talent, you then break your talent down. And you're going, well, what do you mean you break your talent down? You take your talent and you break them down and then build them up. And how you break them down is you break them down to the level that they will have a commitment to not only the team, but the confidence in themselves, and also to be able to think effectively under stress. Now, when you're dealing with high school kids or college kids, you're basically, what you're doing is you're running them, you're stressing them physically to the point where muscle memory takes over and things become natural, and you put them in situations to where they're uncomfortable until they get comfortable. And then once they get comfortable, then they can make decisions that are very natural, and they can evaluate things quickly, and then they can also see them come way out. And that's in life. If you can take that skill where you can take your ability to take a step back and look outside of your situation and look at it from different angles. Look at it from the angle of your boss, look at it from the angle of your wife or your husband, look at the angle of your kids, and actually take your situation, pull back, look at it, break yourself down, break it down to where you can say, this is what I need. These are the areas in which I need to work on. And these are why. They'll be very clear if you can do this. And then you build yourself back up, and you take the steps that you need to be successful. And you do it one at a time, very slowly, and you build yourself back up. Once you're a coach and you have a team that can um, get to that point, and I used to always say, where they can run and have a conversation in a full sprint and react, I knew that I had them where I needed them. And where I needed them was I needed them to be able to communicate, rely on one another, have each other's back, and play 100%. And that meant by doing all the things. So in lacrosse, it's about ground balls, it's about catching the ball, it's about possession of the ball. I used to always say, he who possesses the ball the longest wins, you know. So with that in life, you can also take that and say, he who holds that dollar the longest wins, or he who holds the asset the longest wins. And it's very much relatable. I never quite understood when I was younger why a lot of corporations liked athletes. And as I coached for a long time, I realized that one of the things that I adopted uh, in the coaching realm was we would request that if, for example, if our school district said that the kids needed a 2.5 GPA in order to play a sport, and if they fell below that, they couldn't play. We amped that up. And what we did was we said, in order for you to play on this team, you have to have a 3.0. And if you don't have a 3.0, you can't play. And it is a line in the sand. You can't do it. There's no exceptions. That's it. Um, so by raising the bar and on that, you've increased expectations. You've set a bar, you've set a standard. What's, and I think that's why I'm so compelled to have conversations like this and to have this channel is because something that we're really lacking in today is the fact that we keep lowering the bar. I mean, we're lowering the bar to where you can really almost trip over. And that is not, it's not a good thing. Um, Having the bar too high to where you can't reach it is not a good thing. But you constantly need to be raising the bar. You need to be, putting the effort in. You need to be investing in yourself, um, taking that time. Don't just mindlessly consume content. Um, there should be a purpose for everything that you do. Be purposeful in your life, and you will have great success. Other things that I'm really passionate about is investing financial freedom and making money. And a lot of people say, well, money's not everything. You're right. Money is not everything. Money solves a lot of problems. Money like makes life easier and it is not hard. People want to complicate making money as something that's difficult. It is not. Uh, a lot of times, I've been in situations where I've done mergers and acquisitions. I've worked for some of the largest companies in the world as a consultant, and I sit down with people, and they just want to complicate. They want to use big terms and ratios and acronyms and everything else, and all it is confusing. And when you pull it back out, it's really simple. And there's a lot of simple concepts, and I think it's something that most everybody can understand. So if you know, don't understand something, you just ask the question. I don't understand that. Can you please explain it to me? And if somebody cannot explain something to you to where you can understand it, then they don't understand it themselves. It's just point blank. That should be a pretty good rule for everybody. So I'm going to do these live streams until I actually have people come on to the live streams with me. And I think I'm going to do a couple different styles. This one is all about investing in yourself. And what I really wanted to talk about, because I was really excited about this, is 2025 for me is going to be, and this goes in the investing background, is the year for me to really hone in on asymmetric trading. And that sounds complicated. It really is not complicated at all. Asymmetric trading is the evaluation of a investment to where when you look at it, you look at the upside potential of that and the downside potential of that. And in asymmetry, what you're looking for is you're looking for the highest possible return with the very lowest possible of it going south or going sour, shall we say. So you're like, well, that sounds great. Why don't you do that all the time? Well, conditions have to be correct in order for that to happen. Some of the people that I are in my network and circle that I follow, we feel like 2025 is going to be a great year for active money management because of asymmetry. Um, and the reason that in the investing world, why we believe that 2025 is going to be really a good year for it is because of the one, the new election. We have a wild card. We have Trump coming in, who has basically said that he wants to cut the spending in half, do away some government agencies. He's gonna ruffle things up, throw it up in the air, and pieces are going to fly. Um, I've also thought about doing a live stream on news, keeping up with that, what's important, what's not important, and again, invest in yourself. Whether it's as simple as taking the time to find out what's going on in the world and form your own opinion. Um, I'm sure I'm going to talk more about that. But on getting back to the asymmetric trading, one of the things that what's happening that is a perfect storm right now is that one third of all of the debt that the federal government has now, if they have 36, $37 trillion of debt out there, and they owe themselves between interagencies $7 to $8 trillion, and let's say that they actually have notes out there that are somewhere in the 28 to $29 trillion range. So somewhere around a third of that is all being it all is coming due and has to be re upped for 2025. One of the things Janet Yellen did was keep the short-term borrowing going because it was the best place. We used to call it T-bill and chill, where you could put your money in for 30 days and get 5.5%, not even think about it. So that's a good deal. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about when I say T-bill and chill, where you're putting your money in, getting a return, and you're not basically when you invest in there's bills, notes, and bonds. Bills are the shortest term up to 2 years. 2 years up to 5 years are there's notes, bills, and bonds. So notes are up to 2 years. Over 2 years, the 5 years are notes, and then over 10 years are bonds. So what she did was she basically financed the debt of the Biden administration all on short-term debt, which left the next Treasury Secretary a huge pile because he's in a catch-22. If he were to take that money and then put it all on long-term notes, you got to get a return on that in order for someone to put your money. Well, if you're got if the federal government, let's say, they need to $12 trillion flip over the next year, 365 days, they got to be very careful on how they refinance that debt, because if they refinance the debt and pushes the interest rate higher on long-term debt, that's going to suck money out of the stock market, which is going to make that volatile. We're already in a point economically to where you can't believe the jobs reports, you can't believe the consumer price index. General thoughts are that interest rates are going to be higher for longer, and that inflation is here to stay for longer, and that assets are going to become more expensive. That's the camp that I live in. And with all that, this is a great time to invest yourself and learning about something like asymmetric trading, to where you look at the downside risk to something. Let's say the downside risk is 10%, but the upside risk is 100%. Sounds crazy, but that's where we're looking at right now. I was able to do some trades around the election time that I put in, and they were basically betting on this starting to unfold. It is starting to unfold pretty much exactly the way we see it. We see the volatility coming in. We see the problems that are ahead. Volatility is good because it volatility makes things move, and you need movement in order to make money. But it doesn't work for someone who's going to sit back and um, hide underneath of the couch or hide underneath something. You have to be active. So learning just a little bit, learning just even how to do a side hustle, learning how to do an asymmetric trade, learning how to eat healthier, all comes back to the same concept of investing in yourself. How do I invest in myself? And that's what I'm here to help you with. As a coach, I spent a lot of time helping other people. I still, to this day, get young guys come up to me and said, "Coach, thank you so much. I never understood because I used to not like you very much. I really didn't. Um, but now I understand. I understand what you were doing. I understand what you were trying to get us to do. I understand, and just a short side note is that my mentor and coach went to a really tough time just recently in his family, and I went to the church, and he was there, and we were talking, and unfortunately he lost his daughter in her 40s with two children, and it was just a very sad situation. And now he and his wife are stepping in to be the parents, and he's in his 70s, and I told him, I said, "Coach," I said, uh, "I just want you to know I'm here for you. Anything you need." And it's been uh, 35 years ago. I said, "Anything you need." And I told him, I said, "Man," I said, "in my life, of all the men that I've ever had, you were one of the most important ones I've ever had." And he started to cry. He started to make me cry. And uh, he said, you guys, um, he goes, I could ask you guys to do anything and you would make it happen. If I told you to run through a burning building, I think you guys would have done it. And that was a really touching moment for me. But it uh, kind of it's something that's been on my mind that I've been thinking about is that he made an investment in us, and he invested his time and his knowledge and everything else and his morals and his values. And to this day, they're resonating in me. And that's that's what I'm looking to do is to resonate those lessons, that knowledge. If I don't have it, I mean, I study all the time. I research, learn, and that's what I hope for you. So that's tonight's live stream. I went over 30 minutes, and I hope you enjoy it. And I hope that we get some more people on here. So thank you very much.